Sawadee Cup. All right, today we're going to talk about how the experts, which is public relations people, pose their clients as experts. So the experts at PR make you an expert in your field of knowledge that you want to sell in the way of a digital media delivery, PDF or CD. It's time. The Expert Builder, how to become a top expert in 4 weeks. It's time to obliterate the cult of the expert. Let the PR world scorn me. First and foremost, there is a difference between being perceived as an expert and being an actual expert. In the context of business, the former is what sells product, and the latter, relative to your minimal customer base, is what creates good products and prevents returns. It is possible to know all there is to know about a subject, medicine for example, but if you don't have MD at the end of your name, few will listen. The MD is what I term a credibility indicator. The so-called expert with the most credibility indicators, whether acronyms or affiliations, is often the most successful in the marketplace. Even if other candidates have more in-depth knowledge, this is a matter of superior positioning, not deception. How then do we go about acquiring credibility indicators in the least time possible? Emulating the client grooming techniques of some of the best PR firms in New York City and Los Angeles isn't a bad place to start. Follow the experts, right? They're the experts. It took a friend of mine just 3 weeks to become a top relationship expert who, as featured in Glamour and other national media, has counseled executives at Fortune 500 companies on how to improve their relationships in 24 hours or less. How did she do it? She followed a few simple steps that created a credibility snowball effect. Here's how you can do the same. Number 1, join 2 or 3 related trade organizations with official sounding names. In her case, she chose the Association for Conflict Resolution, www.acrnet.org, and the International Foundation for Gender Education, ifge.org. This can be done online in 5 minutes with a credit card. Second, read the three top-selling books on your topic. Search historical New York Times bestseller lists online and summarize each on 1 page. Third, give one free 1 to 3 hour seminar at the closest well-known university, using posters to advertise. Then do the same at branches of 2 well-known big companies, AT&T, IBM, etc., located in the same area. Tell the company that you have given seminars at University X or X College and are a member of those groups from step 1. Emphasize that you are offering it to them for free to get additional speaking experience outside of academics and will not be selling products or services. Record the seminars from 2 angles for later potential use as a CD or DVD product. Fourth, optional, offer to write 1 or 2 articles for trade magazines related to your topics, citing what you have accomplished in steps 1 and 3 for credibility. If they decline, offer to interview a known expert and write the article. It still gets your name listed as a contributor. Fifth, join ProfNet, which is a service that journalists use to find experts to quote for articles. There you go, learn something new. Getting PR is simple if you stop shouting and start listening. Use steps 1, 3, and 4 to demonstrate credibility and online research to respond to journalists' queries. Done properly, this will get you featured in media ranging from small local publications to the New York Times and ABC News. So there you go, ProfNet. That's where media people look to for experts to quote. Good place, a good way to get your brand out there. If you're selling a service, you are a brand. So you want to get your brand out there. ProfNet's a good way to do it. Becoming a recognized expert isn't difficult, so I want to remove that barrier now. I'm not recommending pretending to be something you're not. I can't. Expert is a nebulous is nebulous media speak and so overused as to be indefinable. In modern PR terms, proof of expertise in most fields is shown with group affiliations, client lists, writing credentials, and media mentions, not IQ points or PhDs. Presenting the truth in the best light, but not fabricating it, is the name of the game. See you on CNN. Okay, let's hit the, we're at 5 minutes, so for sure, let's do the questions and actions. For this hands-on chapter, the Q&A is simple. In fact, it's more like a Q. The question is, did you read the chapter and follow the directions? If not, do it. Instead of the usual Q&A, the end of this chapter and the following two will feature more extensive resources for taking the action steps described in detail in the text. Comfort challenge. Find Yoda. Put on the Star Wars DVD, right? 3 days. Call at least one potential superstar mentor per day for 3 days. Email only after attempting a phone call. I recommend calling before 8:30 a.m. and after 6 p.m. to reduce run-ins with secretaries and other gatekeepers. Have a single question in mind, one that you have researched but have been unable to answer yourself. Shoot for A players, CEOs, ultra-successful entrepreneurs, famous authors, etc. And don't aim low to make it less frightening. Use contactanycelebrity.com. I'd be surprised if that's still up, but it's worth a check, if need be, and base your script on the following. Unknown answerer. This is Acme Inc. or the Office of Mentor X. You. Hi, this is Tim Ferriss calling for John Grisham, please. May I ask what this is regarding? Sure. I know this might sound a bit odd, but I'm a first-time author and just read his interview in Time Out New York. I'm a longtime fan and have finally built up the courage to call him for one specific piece of advice. It wouldn't take more than 2 minutes of his time. Is there any way you can help me get through to him? I really, really appreciate whatever you can do. Answer. Just a second. Let me see if he's available. 2 minutes later. Here you go. Good luck. Rings to another line. John Grisham here. Wow. He actually got to speak to the author. Grisham. That's pretty freaking cool. Hi, Mr. Grisham. My name is Tim Ferriss. I know this might sound a bit odd. I'm a first-time author and a long-time fan. I just read your interview in Time Out New York. Finally built up the courage to call. I have wanted to ask you for a specific piece of advice for a long time. Shouldn't take more than 2 minutes of your time. May I? Okay, go ahead. I have to be on a call in a few minutes. At the very end of the call. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. If I have the occasional tough question, very occasional, is there any chance I could keep in touch via email? So you get a little follow-up. There you go. Lifestyle design in action. Over the moon. My 13-year-old daughter would like to be an astronaut when she grows up. Last year she had an extreme challenge to deal with. The phrase for Apollo 13, failure is not an option, sort of became our motto. I got the idea of contacting the commander of Apollo 13, Jim Lovell. It didn't take much to find him, and he sent her a wonderful letter about his ordeal just to get into the Apollo program, not to mention dealing with a crippled spacecraft. His letter made a big difference to my daughter. A couple of months later, we were able to take things a little further by getting her VIP access to a shuttle launch. Rob. All right, now he gets into tools and tricks, and yeah, we're already at the almost 9 minute mark. I'll get into that tomorrow because that's going to just be a list of like, get a notebook out and just start writing. It's got a couple of pages, 2-3 pages of tools, techniques, tips, resources, and once again, are they still good? I don't know. The book was written in 2007, so but there might be substitutes for some of them. Went down to the auction today, the preview for the auction. It's still online, which sucks. I like being in person much better. Easier to do the deposit and all that stuff. But excuse me, I was able to procure a spot, a house with Sir Jeffrey, and I rented a home. Gugig, who you kind of sort of know from me mentioning her, is actually going to live there. but we're going to store the bikes there, and all my storage stuff left over from the restaurant and storage stuff I have here that I have no place for my tools and things like that. So that will help clean up the condo a little bit. That's cool. And I'll do a separate video today on the auction, but save it and not post it until tomorrow after the auction, when we see how many of the bikes I actually wind up buying online. So that's what's going on, guys. I am still researching the online business. I found a product I'm very excited about, learning more about it. The first web developer couldn't or wouldn't for $10 for the gig accept crypto. He didn't know how to do it. It was too complicated. I found one for $40 to do the website. It's a page. It's one page. Landing page it's called. And with an e-commerce shopping cart. But I found one who will accept crypto, among other payments, not exclusively crypto, for $40. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move with them. We're talking back and forth. I told him, what I'm looking for, and it seems like he's going to be okay. Most of them are India or Pakistan. There's one in like Nigeria. There a lot of them are global VAs, freelancers, whatever. But dude, $40 for a website, you can't beat that. It's a very low initial cost of investment. So, and remember, I'm not buying any product, right? So, all right, that's it for today. Hope you guys are all working on a side hustle, something to get you out of the rat race. We've really gone step by step through all of it so far. And I think an information, like he's talking about, a PDF or a CD, DVD, that's probably going to be the simplest thing to create. When he mentioned public domain the other day, I didn't drop this old tidbit. There is a website called Gutenberg. I don't know if it's Gutenberg.org, Gutenberg.io or something like that. Just Google Gutenberg library. And that is a bunch of public domain stuff. That would be a great place to go up, grab something useful, reposition it, rewrite it, update it. But it's public domain. You're allowed to use it word for word. But just, dress it up, update it, whatever. Put a pretty dress and some lipstick on it. And there you go. That's a good place for you to go and get a product to sell online, a book, something. Get creative, read through, look at all the stuff, and let the inventory guide you, and give your creative brain something to take for your own. And once again, dress it up and sell it. Give it a try. That's minimal. If it's free, Gutenberg library is free. And the material's free, and there's no royalty, there's no copyright. Just tons of information there. So if you've been holding back because you really weren't sure how to get started, go ahead and do what he's talking about with the information. Sell information. And where can you get this information? The Gutenberg library. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope it helps. Take care.